What's up, everybody? How's it going? Let me get this thing started. Let's do this. Right now we're live. And we are going to advertise this stream a little bit. What's up, everybody? Sorry that... How's it going? My own stream is playing in there. I just want to post this in the Discord server real quick to people so that they know what I'm doing. On the Clone Wars Season 7. Come check it out. And talking about BF2 remastered ideas. Okay. Then we'll paste the link in here. And off topic, you can do the general. Okay, so let me get this. I know that I should have done this a little earlier. I'm still kind of new at this whole live streaming thing, so give me a little bit of a break. Just a little one. Just a little one. So, I'm going to wait for people to tune in really quick. Yeah. Trying to figure out what I'm doing here. Okay. Cool. Yeah, well, let's get this podcast started then. I think we're all set right now. Is anybody here? Let me know in the live chat. Hello there. What's up? Yeah, we can talk about it in 1 second. Let me just get the stream going a little bit. I know that we're trying to get the word out on Discord that that we're live, so Maybe I could get a little music going too. Maybe this will be good. I'm not digging that one. I just wanted some background music, bro. Ooh, let's do this one. Yeah. This is the super popular one, right? Oh, I was gonna post in the general chat that we're live and I was on caps lock. Come visit. Okay, hey Master Chief, you're still in the Discord. Yeah, hopefully more people come soon. I know, we're gonna talk about it in, like, right now. Can you do me a favor? And, I got your comment in the off topic. If you're feeling really bored or want to have a conversation about your thoughts on Season 7 of the Clone Wars, this is going to be an awesome podcast, guys, for that. Can you put that in the general tab, too? Just copy and paste that, just so that people get that I'm not just self-advertising myself. That'd be sweet. But I understand if you don't want to. It's whatever, bro. But yeah, let's start talking about Clone Wars Season 7. I'm gonna have some videos pulled up, probably, of some of my favorite scenes that I found, that I want to talk about. Or, like, how about that Darth Maul hallway scene? Ooh, that was pretty sweet. That was pretty cool. Did you guys see that they leaked the whole game of The Last of Us on the internet? That sucks. Last of Us was one of my favorite games, and now they've just now they leaked the whole game, and I've thought about not buying it now. If you guys heard about that, it sucks, but it's what happens. Yeah, the mall hallway scene was epic. I know. It was sweet. We're going to talk about it in a second. I'm just trying to get some videos pulled up that I wanted to show for the stream. Yeah. Here we go. Let me see here. Yeah. All right. Cool. All right. Let's begin the stream. So let me post the YouTube link. Okay. So what do you want to talk about? Let's have the chat pick a topic first, and then I'll pick something. But I have tons of thoughts. This will be more kind of like a Q&A almost. But we'll just have a discussion about it. Let's start talking about initial thoughts. Well, why don't I give my initial thoughts, and then we'll go through that whole thing of, like, you know, having a conversation about it. I would say that my favorite part of the whole season, my favorite scene, was when Anakin and Obi-Wan were together and they were fighting on that bridge, and it was like kind of the last lighthearted adventure that I had seen of Anakin and Obi-Wan together. So I really appreciated that. Ooh, Bad Batch arc. Yeah. Yeah, we could do that. Let's just do it from the beginning. Bad Batch arc. Bad Batch arc was good at the start. I really enjoyed it at the beginning. And I liked how Anakin was like the central, like the Jedi in the group. I'm glad that I got another adventure with Anakin before. I knew that the whole season was going to be probably about Ahsoka, so I was glad to see that Anakin could at least get another adventure in before it was focused on Ahsoka. But Bad Batch started out really, really cool. I really liked the soldiers. The action scene with them was really special. I really liked the part where it's just like a close hallway encounter. I think the Bad Batch is fighting off all these battle droids at the entrance of the secret base. I think that was in like the first or second episode. I liked the village scene where they got the villagers to help them fight the battle droids too. That was really cool. And I feel like probably yeah, that was definitely the second best arc of the show for sure. And I really appreciated like I thought that Echo, this is the part that I didn't like about the Bad Batch arc. Echo was acting like he was going to be a bad guy. Like, he was acting really suspicious. And I thought, oh, is he going to be a bad guy? Is he going to, like, turn against the clones and everything? And then he didn't, which was kind of unusual, in my opinion. I thought that was weird. But, after that, I feel like it was fine, I guess. He also kind of went and he became a part of the Bad Batch group, Echo did, and I was like, oh, that's fine. But I knew it was never going to come up again either, so it's whatever. But definitely, it was a good adventure, I will say that. I think that it was a good adventure to behold. And then if we get to the Ahsoka arc with the sisters, I didn't finish the whole arc because it was just killing me. I was dying of boredom. And I didn't like it. I thought that it was boring. I thought that it was uninspired and half-assed, really. I just didn't like the characters. I got, like we all know that Ahsoka's a Jedi, but she spent, like, the whole arc, like, trying to hide the fact of her being a Jedi. And it's like, okay, I get it. I get it. I got it. And they just didn't stop. So, and I just didn't care about what was happening or anything. I was just not interested. But then I played, What did I play? I was gonna say that I played a game that made me think of how to do that whole thing better. Oh, Jedi Fallen Order. Like, you get the fact that they're trying to hide being a Jedi, but they don't just shove it in your face all the time. So, that makes sense to me. Like, I think there's good ways of doing it, and I think there's bad ways of doing it. And then the Mandalore arc, obviously, that's great. The fight with Ahsoka and Darth Maul was extremely cool, and I really appreciated it. And I'm not the biggest Ahsoka fan, so for me to like something with Ahsoka, was big on them, so. And then, I don't know, probably my favorite scene in the whole show, if it wasn't the Anakin and Obi-Wan on the bridge scene, even though they mimicked the terrible Luke moment from The Last Jedi, I would have to say that my favorite scene was actually the end with Darth Vader finding Ahsoka's lightsaber. I thought that was really cool to see that. So, out of all the arcs, I would have to rate and I feel like because of that, so these good scenes compiling together, I feel like probably the arcs in order of being good to bad would definitely be Mandalore, Bad Batch, and the Ahsoka arc, which I didn't finish because I thought that it was completely boring. But yeah, other than that, it was good. If we're sorting out those three arcs, I would say that's why. And I also appreciated all the, like, you could tell that the people that were behind making this Clone Wars show were excited about the Mandalore arc because they put so much more care into that than the other two arcs. Like, honestly, I feel like if they made the Mandalore arc the only arc in the show, it would have been fine. Because that's really all anybody really cared about. That's the thing. Like, the whole season was centered. Like, look at the fucking poster of the show. Like, the Mandalore people are on it. Like, all... And Darth Maul's in it, too. Like, all the characters that were in the Mandalore arc are in the poster. So, you can definitely tell that they wanted to focus on that Mandalore thing. But, yeah. You could tell that really the whole season could have been that Mandalore arc. So, but yeah, what else would you guys like to talk about with this whole Clone Wars thing? Do you guys suggest anything? Huh. Sorry, I was just looking at a chat real quick. You know, they say that Miller Lite is like the worst beer. I don't get that. Why do they say that Miller Lite is the worst beer? I don't think that's true. I think that the worst beer is probably fucking like... I don't know. They all kind of taste the same. I don't think it matters. Do you think that the season was too short? That's a really good question. I don't think it was too short. I think that there wasn't enough good content. And I think that people would say that it wasn't too short if they would have had some better episodes. Like if they got rid of the whole Ahsoka with the sisters bullshit and they made it like okay, imagine this. The first arc is the Bad Batch. The second arc is an arc with Anakin and Obi-Wan, and it's like the last big adventure that they have together before Revenge of the Sith, right? With rescuing the Chancellor. And it's like a big adventure, and they talk about Ahsoka during it. Like, there was a deleted scene where Anakin and Obi-Wan were talking at a fire and talking about Ahsoka. What if you made like a whole arc around that, and they went on an adventure? And then they talked about Ahsoka, so you got more insight on that. So that when they meet in the Mandalore arc on the ship, when they have to go rescue the Chancellor, maybe by then they could have had something else. Like, they could have had a scene of Anakin and Obi-Wan talking like, hey, we talked about this earlier, you know. But that didn't happen. But if it did, if we had that arc in the middle, I can bet you that people wouldn't say that it was too short. I think that there just wasn't good enough episodes. Because if it's a 13 episode season, that was a whole arc. It was set on Utapau. Oh. Right, I forgot about that part. Oh, shit. I forgot all about Mace Windu and everything. Yeah. That was like 2 episodes, though. I'm talking like an arc to... I'm not talking about that small of a thing. I'm talking about like a 4-episode plot that covers all that Ahsoka shit. Because I know that it's supposed to be about Ahsoka, but we got like way too much. Yeah, the Crystal Crisis. You can find it on YouTube. Oh. Oh, it's a deleted arc. So I'm right. No, I would still say that I'm right then. Take that unfinished arc and put it in the middle, and you got yourself a great season. No question. No question about that. I think we have another person joining us, too. Yes. If it's unfinished, then I'm right. They should put that in. They should totally do that. No question. No question about that. I totally forgot about that whole arc with, it wasn't an arc, it was like 2 episodes, but, that's what they did with the Bad Batch arc. Okay. Have you read Dark Disciple? No, tell me what it is. I'm totally curious as to what that is. Is it a Star Wars book? Here, let me Google it. When I was a kid, I rented a Star Wars book from the library because it had a really cool cover. And I read it, and I remember thinking it was a good book. But it was like, I literally judged the book by its cover, even though you're not supposed to do that. Dark Disciple. Oh, it's a Star Wars book. Hey, I've heard about this guy. Yeah, okay, this is cool. The guy on this cover, I don't remember his name, but I can tell you that he was the main character in the original. Yes, that guy. Yes, him. He was a character in the Clone Wars comic book series from like 2003. And he had, it was originally going to be an episode 8 arc. Okay, because, yeah, that guy. He had an arc in the original Clone Wars comic book without Ahsoka and everything. It was printed in like 2003. He had a whole arc where he became a Sith Lord, like a secret Sith Lord, to Count Dooku, like Starkiller almost. And he was working for the light side while working for the dark side. Like, he was a double agent, but like the dark side consumed him. It was a really cool arc, and I'm glad that you made me remember that. It was a deleted scene. Oh, right, I do remember that, actually. Yeah, he was in a couple of those. But yeah, they should take that deleted arc with Anakin and Obi-Wan and put it in the middle to get rid of that sister crap. That's kind of what happens in the book. Okay. Interesting. What did you guys think of Darth Vader? Did you guys watch the Darth Vader scene? Because that was a really cool scene. That was probably my favorite scene in the whole. And I know that I just feel like there was a lot of build up to that. So, I think that's why I liked it so much. Yes, there are basically 3 unfinished arcs in this Clone Wars show. Clone Wars has kind of been up and down the whole thing. You know? Darth Vader's scene was amazing. I completely agree with you. Yeah, that was awesome. I loved the Darth Vader scene. I would have to say that... What's your opinion on that one arc in Season 5 with the droids? There's a really funny story about that arc, actually. You're gonna love this. When that arc was going on, I was in high school at the time. I just graduated university about 3 weeks ago, so I'm 22 now, and when I was in high school, I was maybe 17 or 18. It's hard to believe that the show is that old, but I was watching that arc when I was eating breakfast every morning, because we had a DVR, and I would DVR the Clone Wars episode, and then I would wake up and make some breakfast before school, and so I would watch that Droids arc every morning before school. And I remember watching it and thinking, oh, that's really cool that they're bringing up that general from Geonosis and everything, that they're, bringing up Geonosis. But then I'm trying to remember what happened. It's been a long time, man. But I remember the droids do, like, a lot of action stuff. Like, I remember they get out of a bunch of situations and they're, like, actually doing things instead of just walking around. Like, they're being, like, action heroes, like these droids are. And I remember thinking that it was kind of... I remember watching it originally and thinking, wow, this is boring. Like, I just didn't think it was very exciting. But as I've grown older, I've come to appreciate little arcs like that because they tell little separate stories out of everything else. And I feel like arcs like that are just what separates the Clone Wars from some things, other shows, really. I think that arcs like that separate that from other shows. And that's because they have such a big... they have a good universe to work with. But the problem... Like, Star Wars is a universe that you can work things... You can, like, make up stories really easily. But the problem is that a lot of those stories suck. And I feel like a reason for that is Star Wars was not meant to be extended. And I say that because the original 3 movies was one story and it had main characters and everything and blah, 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 blah. Like, it told a structured story from beginning to end, the original 3. Then you come out with the prequels and you kind of lose that sense of who the main character is. Now, Luke isn't the main character anymore. Now it's Anakin. So who is the main character of the sequel movies? That's Rey. So then you have to think to yourself, okay, so technically you have 3 main characters, but you're supposed to be telling one story. So it's kind of hard to follow, like, one feeling. Like, you're watching the journey, but you're not watching the journey of anybody. Like, Uncharted, a video game series that has 4 games, you're playing as one character the whole time, so you go throughout a journey as that person. But you never really get to get a full journey of somebody in Star Wars, because they're just not the main character a lot of the times, you know? That's something that I've kind of noticed with Star Wars, but, I would have to say that, sometime in the Clone Wars show, I would say the Clone Wars show is the only... Clone Wars and Rogue One are the only 2 good examples of taking good stories in that Star Wars universe. Like Solo, I didn't like Solo. I didn't really like Rebels because it was just too... Rebels could have been great if it had... Let me talk about that later. But no, that droid arc, I've come to appreciate it a lot more. As I've grown older, I've, gotten a more big appreciation for writing. And I was really impressed, and now that I watch it, I'm really impressed with that kind of a story that they can pull out. Something that's so small, but yet is pretty adventurous. So, I like that. But we were talking about Darth Vader scene. I thought that was great. I liked the little owl at the end because that's what you see when Darth Vader fights Ahsoka. Personally, the original 6 movies is a story of redemption. I completely agree. I feel like the sequel movies just didn't add anything of value, and all it did was just kill all the characters that I liked. Basically, every Star Wars sequel movie is like a funeral for somebody that I liked. So, yeah. And I liked how Vader, like, you obviously can't see Vader's emotion with the mask, but you can just tell by his body language, the way that he wiped off the lightsaber and everything. Like, you could tell that he was emotionally attached to that lightsaber. So, I thought that it showed Vader's humanity a little bit, which is good. You want to see that. But yeah, I do agree that the original 6 movies is a story of redemption. I totally agree with that. even before the the prequel movies, it was a story of redemption. I feel like Vader redeemed himself in the Return of the Jedi, even without the prequel movies. So, but tell me what your favorite what were you expecting to see but you didn't see? Like, what were you expecting to see in this season? Like, were you hoping to see a certain character do something? Like, I personally was hoping to see, when I heard about this whole thing, I was hoping to see an Anakin and Obi-Wan arc. We got that episode of Anakin and Obi-Wan on the bridge, and there was that episode of Mace Windu. So that was cool, but I was expecting like a 4-episode arc of Anakin and Obi-Wan going on an adventure that we could have seen. But instead we got the Ahsoka Sisters arc, so. But what were you guys expecting to see, but just didn't end up seeing? Okay, let's see. Boba Fett versus Cad Bane. Yep, that was a deleted arc. We talked about that last night. That was a deleted arc, sadly. I wanted to see Ventress and where she was at. Yeah, they didn't enter a character, really, did they? I can tell you guys, in the original Clone Wars comic book series, Ventress was redeemed by Obi-Wan Kenobi, became a good guy, and then she died, but then she came back to life with the Force or whatever, and then she flew away in a ship and left the war. So in the comic book, she left the war and lived the rest of her life in peace. I want to see Ventress where she's at. Yeah, Season 7 was originally bringing a conclusion to all of the stories of these characters that we've loved. Yeah, and Ventress was kind of a loose end that they didn't really bother filling. And I never really watched Season 6 of the Clone Wars, but Ventress really wasn't in Season 6, was she? Like, all the leader arcs about establishing Clone Wars characters. Yeah. Now, I have to wonder, if you wanted to have, like, a really good... Like, could you watch the Clone Wars series and then the original 3 movies and then call it good? Or do you need to watch, like... You would probably need to watch Episode 3. And you would probably need to watch Episode 2. But I feel like Episode 1 is probably useless. I mean, I guess you would have to watch Episode 1 for Darth Maul, though, because of the Clone Wars, so... But you don't need to watch The Phantom Menace if you're not watching the Clone Wars show, because... If you're watching Episode 1, 2, and then 3, you don't need to watch The Phantom Menace. I would say that the prequels are better than the sequels, but that's because, like, I didn't really care about the characters in the sequel movies. I didn't really care about the ones in the prequels either, but at least, like, they were characters that I wanted to see, you know? Like, I wanted to see Obi-Wan Kenobi, I wanted to see Anakin, I don't want to see Rey, I don't want to see Poe, I don't want to see Finn, I don't want to see... I guess I'll see BB-8, he's pretty cool, I guess, but whatever. By the way, just so you guys know, this is coming up. I'm going to be live streaming the Star Wars Battlefront 2 campaign in the remastered form. And I'm doing like a partnership with Harrison Fogg, the Battlefront 2 remastered manager. And it's going to be great. I'm really excited to do it. I really hope that a lot of people tune in. And it'll be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about it. It's all I've been thinking about for a long time, so... I'm very excited. I hope that it'll be a lot of fun, and I hope that it'll bring a lot of attention to this channel, because I just want to interact with people. That's it. So, I don't want anybody's money or anything. Like, I know that people, like, ask for donations. I don't want your money. I want you to keep your money. I just want to, like, have conversations with people. So, that's it. Okay, the only reasons why I watched episode 1 was to see Anakin's origins. Yeah, but I don't want to see Anakin's origins because it's stupid. I liked how the prequels gave context to the story, but it was just so badly executed. Yeah, I can agree with that. His fears and emotions for the characters were expanded in the next 2 movies. Yeah. Yes, I do agree with Finn. I do agree. I do agree that I like how they gave context to the story, but I don't like how it was executed. I totally agree with that. I really wish that the prequels had more adventures with Anakin and Obi-Wan. Not so much focused on the Palpatine thing. That's just me, though. But yeah, if you guys didn't know, Hold My Microphone has been a podcast that I've been doing for a little while. I was drinking a beer when I was thinking of this podcast thing, and I was like, here, hold my beer. I got to do this. And I was like, hey, hold my beer. I'll call Hold My Microphone because I'm using a microphone. So, that's where that whole thing started. But, with the support from Master Chief and from, people that I've been working with. People have been listening to my podcast, and I really appreciate it. And I had to take a break for a while just because I was in my senior year, and I had so much homework all the time, and I had to focus on my schoolwork all the time to graduate. So that was basically that. Couldn't work on the podcast when I'm working on schoolwork. But now I'm graduated, and I got time. So I thought that I'd bring this back, and I am using a new streaming software, which I have really liked to use, and I'm really excited to stream this Battlefront 2 campaign. I hope that it'll bring a lot of attention to this channel, and I'm really excited. I've been working really hard to make sure that it's good quality, that it's going to run good, and I'm excited. Me and Harrison still have to work out some of the details, but other than that, we'll be fine. It'll be great. So this isn't directly Clone Wars related, but what's your opinion on Ahsoka in Mando Season 2? That's a really good question. I watched The Mandalorian all the way through. I wasn't going to originally. I was like, nah, I don't care about The Mandalorian. It'll probably be garbage. I hate all the Disney Star Wars shit. But then my friend was like, yo, bro, can I borrow your Disney Plus? I want to watch The Mandalorian. So I'm like, oh, sure, you can borrow my Disney Plus. I don't care. But then I was like, hey, you know what? Why don't I watch it too so that I'm getting my money's worth, and I'll watch it with you. So we were like, oh, okay, let's do it. I was like, might as well. I'll just complain about it if it was bad. But I fucking loved it. I can't move my laptop, but I actually have a Mandalorian poster over there. But Mandalorian is amazing. Great show. I love the characters. I love the story. I love the classic sets. It reminds me of like old westerns and stuff. It's great. I love it. But Ahsoka being in it, I think that it gives you a reason to watch the Clone Wars. I think that it, I don't really have a problem with it. I would have a problem with it if it was like the first part of the Clone Wars characters making it into live action. But then Darth Maul got into Solo, and they've made Ahsoka in the, they've put Ahsoka in the Rise of Skywalker voices that Rey hears and everything. So honestly, the more stuff that they take from that Clone Wars show and put it into real Star Wars medium, I would say the better at this point. Just because they've already done it, you might as well do more of it so it's less confusing, basically. That's what I'm saying. Here's the problem that I have with Ahsoka. And from the second I watched the original Clone Wars, this is let me tell you something, I never really have talked about this. And you can tell me, please tell me if I'm wrong. Okay? And I would love to know your thoughts about this in the chat after I say this. But from the second when I was like 11 years old, I was 11 years old when the Clone Wars movie came out. From the second I was 11 years old, Anakin got a Padawan. And I said, oh, that would be great if Anakin acted like he could hold a Padawan in the movies. If Anakin acted like, you know, not a fucking crazy lunatic all the time and totally disobedient with the Jedi Council all the time and turning and being an asshole all the time, then sure, I could see him with the Padawan, but he wasn't. He was unstable, he was an asshole, and he was crazy. Now in the Clone Wars show, he can handle a Padawan because he's normal. He's cocky and he's like a jokester. Like, he likes to be sarcastic and he likes to tell, you know, like, make jokes and quips when he's fighting people and stuff. And he's got a personality because he's like the best part of the show. Him and Ahsoka are like the best part of the show. Because Anakin acts like the perfect Anakin. But with Anakin having a Padawan, and then you watch episode 3, it's like, this guy could not hold a Padawan. But in the Clone Wars show, he still acts that way. He still has a romantic relationship with Padme. He's still breaking the Jedi code. And he's still not following all the rules, but he's at least still respectful to the council. And he acts like a normal person. You know, I don't care if you're breaking all the Jedi rules and everything and you hold a Padawan. I just care if you can, like, you know, actually fucking handle it. Like, actually teaching somebody something. Let's see. Realistically, he doesn't seem like the master type, but back when I was younger, I didn't really think about it much because I watched the show before the prequels. Right, but now you're older, and now you gotta think about that kind of stuff, you know? That's my problem with Ahsoka, is I just watched, like, episode 3, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think that Anakin could handle it. See, but Anakin grows in the show, along with Ahsoka. And it's not Anakin grows into more of a master. Like, in the very beginning, he doesn't care about this stupid girl, and he just yells at her all the time. You know, so. But then by the end of it, he's still Anakin, and yet he's still a great guy. That's why the Clone Wars show is so brilliant. He's still Anakin. He's still breaking the Jedi code. He's still he still shows dark side issues. But yeah, he's a good guy and he's cool. He's the perfect interpretation of Anakin, and he's exactly what Anakin should have been in the prequels. That's why he's so cool in the show. But yet in the movies, he breaks the Jedi code and he shows anger issues. But, like, he's fucking crazy. And he says stupid things. But in the Clone Wars show, he's perfect. That's why it works with Ahsoka. But then when you try and say, oh, he's still the master to Ahsoka in Revenge of the Sith, it's like, no, it doesn't work. That's my problem with Ahsoka. But tell me if I'm wrong. If you disagree. You say, yeah, it's strange. It is strange. But I'm glad that the Clone Wars decided to redo Anakin, because they made the right decision. Anakin's so fucking cool in the Clone Wars. Like, when Anakin turns bad in Revenge of the Sith, I feel nothing. But when Anakin becomes Darth Vader in the Clone Wars, it was like, damn! You know? You don't want him to turn evil. You want him to just be Anakin. But in the movies, you're just like, meh. Sometimes I think that the council made him a master so that he can learn responsibility. And they can grow together. Yeah. He learned so much. Anakin learned so much from Ahsoka. And Ahsoka learned so much from Anakin. Like, both of them just grew as characters. But yet, the writing in that show was so good for Anakin that they made him a great person and yet still put anger in him and breaking the Jedi Code in him and all that stuff. That's how good it was. Do you guys agree, though, with what I'm saying about Anakin? Let me know. Yee. Thank you. Totally agree. Okay. I'm glad that you guys agree with me. Thank you. I've been thinking about that for a long time. Totally agree. What else would you guys like to talk about? Do you guys have any questions? Let's make this kind of a Q&A thing. Let's discuss a little bit more. What do you guys want to talk about next? Maybe we could talk about Darth Maul. Any questions about Darth Maul or anything? I'm having so much fun right now. This is so cool. By the way, so you're going to do the Battlefront 2 05 campaign? Yes. What are your thoughts on the story of the Battlefront 2 campaign? Great question. I love it. I think it's a great story, and I love that it takes you from a clone's perspective. I feel like the Battlefront 2 campaign was almost the first characterization of the clones. Because you got to think about it. The clones and the prequels didn't really have much character to them. But that campaign in Battlefront 2 actually added emotion and character to the clone troopers. That's how great that story is. It was like the first piece of storytelling with clone troopers. So, I give that a lot of props. I love the missions. I love that you can play as all sorts of heroes. I love that you can fight heroes in that campaign. The new campaign fucking sucks. You can't do anything in that campaign that is fun. Maybe you can fly ships, but you can do that in the old one too, and there's capital ships. That one is so much... Battlefront 2's campaign, 2005, is so much better. And I am beyond excited to live stream it remastered and help out the Battlefront 2 remastered team and just to be a part of that. I'm beyond excited and I'm very blessed for the opportunity. I think the story is great. I think that the character building on the 501st is great. And I love how, like, the clones, like, talk about how they hate the new guys that become stormtroopers and everything. And it's great. Just brings so much character and life to them. I remember when, like, the clones are about to kill Aayla Secura and they genuinely feel bad about it. Like, that's so cool. My favorite arc in the whole show. Probably Anakin and the Chosen One. When they're on that, like, triangle. It was like a triangle. It was like a triangle or pyramid-shaped dimension or something. And it was, like, with the sun, which was voiced by Sam Witwer. It would either have to be that one, with Anakin being the Chosen One, when, like, they fight Ahsoka and Anakin sees the vision and everything like that. Or it would probably have to be the arc with Darth Maul and Savage and everything. By the way, dude, fucking Savage Opress was voiced by Mr. Krabs. I found that out today and I was blown away. Or maybe yesterday I found that out. Either one of the two. Yeah, Mortis. I would have to say Mortis or the Anakin Chosen One arc. Both of those arcs are really good. I think I like all my favorite arcs are past season 3, because seasons like once they got to like the 3rd season, they got a little bit more into it. You know, bruh. What? What is bruh? by season 3, they got like a little bit more into it. Like they kind of let the gloves off. They kind of like took the gloves off. Or maybe that was like season 5. I feel like season 5 they really took the... Well, I feel like once they brought back Darth Maul, that was when they started taking the gloves off. So, that one. That one was really cool. Oh, that he voiced Mr. Krabs. Did you know that, or was that just me? Like, I found that out yesterday, and I was like, what? Mr. Krabs is Savage Opress? That's crazy. Yeah, did you guys hear about The Last of Us 2, by the way? That the whole thing got leaked? What do you guys think about that? I played The Last of Us in 13 or 14, and before I played Uncharted. By the way, on my YouTube channel, I have a full playthrough of Uncharted 4. Check it out if you haven't seen very much Uncharted 4 stuff, because that is my favorite video game of all time. And my playthrough is the first time I ever played it, and I love that I can go back and watch the first time I ever played my favorite game. But The Last of Us was my favorite game before I played Uncharted. And, I was so excited about The Last of Us 2, and then all of a sudden all these spoilers get leaked, and of course I gotta check them out. You know, I've been waiting 7 years for this, and if I see something in front of me that says, hey, I know what happens to The Last of Us 2. Okay, you know. And then I found out what happened, and I'm not very happy about it. So, that's probably the most unfortunate part. But hey, what can you do? You know? Yeah, do you guys want to talk about, yeah, I haven't played those games, but yikes, leaks. Yeah, it's rough. I didn't think there was enough Obi-Wan in this season. I was hoping to see a little bit more Obi-Wan. But we only got like two episodes with him, like 2 or 3. It's like, come on, he's like one of the main characters. Like, ugh. Let me talk about Rebels for a second. I have never watched Rebels, and I probably never will because it's a kid's show and I'm not into it. I have seen 2 scenes. I have seen Anakin versus Ahsoka and Obi-Wan versus Maul, and I have gone nothing beyond that. And I'm not into it. I'm just not. Clone Wars I was into because of the stories that it was telling and everything, but Rebels I'm not into. Now let me tell you something. I would watch a Rebels show if it had characters I cared about. Clone Wars has characters that I care about. It has Anakin. It has Obi-Wan, the 2 main characters in the prequels. It has Darth Maul that I care about. It has Boba Fett. It has, like, characters that I actually care about, right? Rebels is full of characters I don't give a shit about. Like, the main characters of that show are, like, for kids, and I am not into it. Now, if you came out with a Rebels show that had Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Chewbacca, C-3PO, and R2-D2, if you came out with, like, a Clone Wars type show and called it Star Wars Rebels, but it took place between episodes 4 and 5, and it was about Luke and stuff, and it had like adventures with Luke and Han and everything, then I would be totally sold. And then you have like Ahsoka meet Luke Skywalker and everything, like stuff like that. That'd be awesome. But we didn't get that, so I'm not into it. I hate the Rebels art style. Yeah, I totally agree. They changed the look of it and it looks bad. The only cool thing about Rebels is that they got James Earl Jones to voice Darth Vader again. Other than that, it's garbage. Because, like, It's just all about kids. And like another thing with the main characters, I was watching the Ahsoka Darth Vader fight, and Ahsoka and Darth Vader are fighting, and I'm really into that scene, and then all of a sudden that fucking asshole is right there. And I'm like, I don't care about you. Get out of here. I don't care. Get out of here. I want to watch Ahsoka and Vader fight. What's even his name? Azra or something? That guy's an asshole. I don't care about him. Get out of here. And then he's just there. Like, he's even there when he's even there when Obi-Wan fights Darth Maul. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. So stupid. So stupid. Technically, the series is based on Ralph McQuarrie's concepts, but simplistic shapes doesn't do his work justice. No, not at all. Ralph McQuarrie's art is fucking amazing. Ralph McQuarrie's art is fucking legendary. And if you base a show off of his art style, it should not look like Star Wars Rebels. Anything else you guys want to talk about at all with this Season 7 thing? I'm talking for about an hour now, but I'll go for as long as you guys want to go. You guys liking the background music? I wasn't sure if I would like it or not, but I'm kind of liking it. I'm liking not just sitting in silence. Did we lose Finn? Is Finn still watching? Finn, you still watching, bro? Give me a sec to think about a question. I dig it. This is really interesting stuff. Thank you. I graduated in film and like script writing and everything, so I'm here. Okay, good. I'm glad you're here. I was worried that we lost you. I hadn't talked in a while. I was like, hey, come on, where's my guy? But yeah, I graduated in film and video studies, so I've had to study writing and everything for about 4 years now, so I like to have a sense. I like to think I have a sense I know of what I'm talking about. But oh, you're a theater kid. Cool. I worked at a theater for 2 years as a sound manager. I worked at the soundboard. It's so difficult, bro. You got like 30 mics. You got like 30 mics on, and everybody comes on stage. You're like, shit, these people, not these people. These people are on, you know, and like you want to only have them on when they have a line. So it's like, shit, gotta turn them on. Oh, I gotta turn them off now. You know, it's fucking crazy, especially when there's so many people on stage and they're all talking at once. Because, like, if you turn on a mic and somebody's backstage on action, like, shit, you know, and they can hear what they're saying backstage. Ugh. What do you do in the theater? Do you act? Oh, you're an actor. Cool. What kind of plays do you do? Oh, yeah, it was once you do it for like 2 months, you got it down. But it is pretty difficult when you start. Plus, it's really interesting when you show up because when you're a sound manager, you don't have to show up for like the first month or two of rehearsals. So like you'll show up and everybody you'll show up and everybody already knows their lines and they know where they're going and everything, and you know nothing. You don't know where their lines, you don't know when their lines are, you don't know who's saying them, you don't know anything, but they know. You know, when I showed up, when I first started the job, I thought, oh, I'm going to have to, you know, start from scratch with these people. But they already knew everything, because they had already been doing rehearsals for like a month, and I had no idea. I was like, whoa, you know? She Kills Monsters. It's this play about the girl's whose nerd sister died, and she discovered her sister's D&D module and plays it with her sister's ghost. Dang. She Kills Monsters. Dope. Theater stories are always cool, man. We have a massive theater on our college campus, and we go there all the time, watch plays and stuff. Probably the best play I was in was when I was like 11. I was Cinderella's dad in a production of Cinderella. And I was a townsperson, and I was the minister at the wedding of Cinderella and the prince and everything. Fun times. Probably the worst play I was ever in was we did a production of Charlotte's Web. That was ass. What do you think about Rex killing his brothers during Order 66? He didn't kill them. He stunned them. I don't think he killed any of them. If he did. By the way, I will say this. I didn't really... Yeah, after he got his chip taken out. I wouldn't say that I was too emotionally invested. I was like, oh, well, I would kind of expect Rex to do this once he got the chip taken out. But then he cried, and I was like, oh. Like, it's serious. Because I have never seen a clone trooper cry. And then they made Rex cry, and it was like, it was awesome. Brought so much human emotion to the character of Rex. Made me care about him 100 times more than I already did. So, that was great. By the way, I gained 2 subscribers last night. Were either of those you guys? If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Not one to beg, but if you subscribe, the higher chance you'll have of watching me again, and then I can have another conversation with you, which I would really like to do. Do you guys want to watch the Darth Vader hallway scene? Or, I mean, not the Darth Vader, the Darth Maul hallway scene. Do you guys want to watch it? I'll turn it on. Let me know. I'll turn it on if you want. Oh, you subbed recently. Cool. Glad to have you aboard. Oh, this evening. Okay. Thanks, dude. Yeah. Let's watch the Darth Maul hallway scene real quick. Thank you for subscribing. Hopefully you can keep on coming to these events and we can converse more. It'd be sweet. Alright, let me see here. I'm going to turn this display capture on. I'm on the Discord page right now. Let's watch this. Well, I should probably turn off the music. Here, we'll watch the Darth Vader scene next. Check this out. Wait till this thing goes away. Get out of here. This part I love the most when he... Yeah, that part. Ugh! This one is probably better than the Darth Vader hallway scene. Nice. By the way, check out ER's channel. He makes great Star Wars videos. They're hilarious. They're kind of offensive, though, so be careful. And we can also watch the the Darth Vader scene. I apologize. Let's watch this. Got that downed Republic cruiser. Oh, sorry. Look at that. Darth Vader looks so cool with this animation. So cool. Surprised that her lightsaber still works after all that temperature and stuff. There's the owl. So good. Let's turn this music back on. The scene always makes me tear up, I know. Oh, ER, yeah, I love ER. He's kind of a he can be kind of offensive sometimes, but it's whatever. He's hilarious. I don't care. He's hilarious. It's great. What else do you guys want to talk about? I know we just watched some scenes. We haven't really talked about Darth Maul very much yet. What do you guys have to say about Darth Maul? Anything you want to discuss or give a comment on about Maul? Let me know. Sorry if the chat's a little delayed. I think the stream has a little bit of a delay. Like when I talk, it comes out a little bit later. So. I thought I didn't subscribe, but then I saw my subscription list when I was going to subscribe to your channel, and then I was surprised, so I completely forgot about doing it. Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate it. You've been Master Chief, you have been a great help to me these past couple months, and I can't thank you enough. If there's any way that I can ever repay you, please let me know. One of the best characters now. I know, the Clone Wars managed to make Darth Maul like the stupidest fucking character ever. Like, oh my god, what a cool lightsaber. Oh my god, he wears black robes. Like, that's Darth Maul. But now he has so much character to him, and it's so cool, so. So bland in the prequels. So bland. So bland. It was crazy. So bland. Thanks, bro. Mad respect. Yeah. I can't wait to stream that Battlefront 2 campaign. I really hope that people turn in. I'm really hoping that we can have fun with that. Tell me, do you guys watch... I know this is completely off topic from the Clone Wars, but I just want to see, because maybe we can talk about it if you guys have watched it. Have you guys watched the new season? Oh, hold on. What were your thoughts of him returning from the dead? Oh, I didn't mind. As long as they made him interesting. I thought that they would make him interesting. Yeah, at this time of season 4 or 5. Yeah, I was like, if you can make him interesting, I won't care. And from the trailers that I saw, and he was being voiced by Sam Witwer, I knew that they were going to make him interesting, so I was all for it. I was like, anything that you can do to bring this lifeless character to life. And they did. They made him great. So, totally. But I was going to ask, and I really hope both of anybody that's watching, tell me, have you guys been watching the new season of Survivor? Season 40, Winners at War? Have you guys been watching that? Because I'm obsessed with that right now. Nah, yeah. It's not for everybody. But I like it. It's a good show. Check it out if you haven't, because it's been on for like 20 years. And it's still going strong. So it's where like these people are, these people have to survive on a deserted island, and they have to vote each other off, and they do challenges. It's like the most intense show I've ever seen. It's so cool. I've been watching it since I was like 5. But let's talk about more Clone Wars. We're going on about an hour and 15 minutes. I'll stream 4 hours. I don't care. Let's just keep on talking. This is good. You guys have any more questions? I can give any opinion on anything that has to do with anything. It doesn't just have to be about Clone Wars Season 7. But since it's the topic of the stream, you can feel free to ask questions about the Clone Wars Season 7. This is a podcast of discussion, so. I'm just waiting for the chat right now. What are your thoughts on episode 9? Terrible movie. It was awful. I hated it. Awful. Bringing back the Emperor? Terrible. Terrible. I'm laughing as I'm saying it because it's so bad. They literally ruined Anakin's prophecy. Anakin's prophecy was he was going to destroy the Sith, bring balance to the Force, but they didn't. Rise of Skywalker. Yeah. Terrible movie. Bring Back the Emperor was stupid. They did it because they were desperate. I didn't like Rey in episode 8. I really didn't like Rey in episode... I only liked Rey in episode 7 because I thought that she was Luke's daughter, and there was an explanation as to why she was so was so powerful in the Force. And I guess making her Palpatine makes her powerful in the Force. But who the fuck is her dad? Who the fuck is Palpatine's dad? Wait. Yeah, who the fuck is Palpatine's dad? Who would have a kid with the Emperor? Well, the title was clickbait, basically. Rise of Skywalker. Yeah. I thought that Luke was gonna be, like, back alive again. Like, I thought that he was gonna be resurrected with the Force or whatever. But he wasn't. And he was just a Force ghost. And it was stupid. I didn't like it. Stupid. Just the whole movie. I watched it in theaters opening night. Like, not Friday, Thursday. Like, the day before opening night. Like, the earliest you could see it, I was there. Just to see how bad it was going to be. And it was bad. Honestly, my favorite character in the whole movie? C-3PO. Stole the show. Fucking ridiculous. They ruined Luke Skywalker, my favorite character of all time. If you have watched any of my old YouTube videos, in any Star Wars game ever, I am obsessed with playing as Luke Skywalker. So, you know. I hated it. And I hated The Last Jedi even more. Last Jedi ruined Luke Skywalker, and the story was stupid and it had no direction. You know what probably my least favorite part of The Last Jedi is? Let me say this. Do you remember that part in The Last Jedi where BB-8 was in the AT-ST walker and he was shooting the stormtroopers away with the AT-ST? I thought that was the stupidest thing I had ever seen. Because if you remember in the scene before that, the guy that like stutters and shit was like, hey, it's just business. And then he walks away. And I thought that he was going to redeem himself, come back, and save the main characters from the Empire. But he didn't. And he just left. And that was the last time we ever saw him. Instead, it was BB-8 in the fucking walker for no reason. That was where I realized that this was horse shit. Like, complete horse shit. I thought that it was already horse shit when Luke threw his lightsaber behind his head and shit. But no. When that happened, I was like, this is the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, I thought Luke or Anakin was going to be the most OP guy at the end of the film. But nope, we get rid of the yellow lightsaber, stealing a legacy name. Exactly. I wanted to throw up when she was like Rey Skywalker. I was like, fuck off. Get out of here. So stupid. God. So stupid. The Last Jedi made me feel lost. Yes. It was horrible. Both of those movies are worse than any of the prequels. I don't care what you say. The prequels are stupid, but the sequels are really stupid. So stupid. Yeah. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Anybody got any questions? Typically, Hold My Microphone episodes go for about 20 minutes and then I am done talking about what I want to talk about. But now that I actually have people watching me, I can talk back. So, I walked out of the cinema not knowing why I was not amazed with the movie. Right. Me too. I was like, why don't I like this movie? But then I watched it again and I watched it again and I was like, this is why I don't like this movie. Like, I got it. I figured it out. I had high expectations. Yeah, me too, pal. So stupid. I don't know about you guys, but this music is jamming. You guys hearing this music right now? This is good music. Do you guys drink beer? What kind of beer do you guys drink? I drink Miller Lite. I know that everyone calls it like the world's shittiest beer. Let me tell you something. I went to Wisconsin one time, and I went to Milwaukee, and apparently in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, they make Miller Lite, and they had a Miller Lite tavern. It was sweet. It was awesome. We were there for Comic-Con. I know, this music is dope. I'm totally digging this. You guys gonna can you guys all answer this? Are you guys gonna watch the campaign stream coming up? let me know. We haven't figured out what day we're going to stream it yet. I still have to work out the final details of our arrangement with Harrison. But once we do, we'll figure out what day we're going to stream it. It'll be great. Let me know if you guys are going to watch it. I really hope that we get as many people as possible. Again, can't make money off it. Just, I want people to watch it just so we can have a conversation. I'll have the chat up. I'll be able to answer stuff. It'll be great. Okay. Finn, watch the stream, please. It'll be great, I promise. It's just going to be one stream. It'll be like 3 hours long. We'll have the whole campaign. We'll talk. We'll be in the chat. It'll be great. The footage will also be uploaded onto Harrison's YouTube channel. So if you missed the stream, you can check it out there. Yeah. It'll be awesome. Any other questions you guys got, or should we call it? Whatever you guys want to do. Sorry, hey, no problem, bro. We'll call it. Good discussion that we had about this whole Clone Wars thing. That was great. I thank you all for tuning in tonight. I'm really glad that we could have a good discussion. It was great to have you guys watch. I don't really have a schedule for Hold My Microphone podcast, but if more people tune in, then I'll do it more. So, keep an eye out for the Battlefront 2 Remastered campaign stream. Please check it out. And, yeah, you guys have a good night, okay? I'm really glad that I could do this slime. Thank you so much for complimenting me on the podcast. I'm really hoping that, I'll be able to do more live podcasts like this. I feel like the conversation is great, and people can just ask questions, and we can talk about things that I don't typically get to talk about. Yeah, I really hope that you can join the campaign stream. Please also have the chat active so that I know that you guys are there. I'll be able to talk to you guys while I'm playing the campaign, and I'm really glad that you guys got to join me. So, hey, you guys have a good night, and I'll talk to you guys soon.